All right, man. I just watched the podcast. These 120-watt podcast. I linked the source in the description where Ben Wallace said if Carmelo Anthony had joined the Detroit Pistons, they have drafted him, that they wouldn't have won the championship. Let's talk about it. We back. Motor City Sports Talk. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Appreciate the love and support. Okay. So he gave his reasoning. He gave a lot of great reasons why Carmelo wouldn't have worked. One of the hosts said what I thought, basically that if they drafted Carmelo, Carmelo would have became a better team player by learning under Ben, Sheed, and Darko. But he said that by Darko accepting his role, saying he wasn't ready to play, that allowed it to be no tension between the media and the coaches and the players and stuff of that nature. By Darko fading into the black and pretty much marinating on the bench, it allowed them to form that camaraderie and didn't really mess up the flow of the team. And he said had Carmelo came in and he didn't play right away, he would have came off the bench or whatever situation may be, he would have been, causing some trouble, and him and Larry would have been beefing in the media and the players, and it would have messed up the camaraderie, knowing that Carmelo wanted to come in and make an impact right away, feeling that he was already better than Tayshaun Prince. He said by Darko Milicic falling into the role and knowing that he wasn't ready, it allowed everybody not to deal with the media attention, not to deal with the foundation being messed up or the rotation being messed up, and it allowed Tayshaun to grow and everybody to form that camaraderie. And that was a different way to look at it. He said Carmelo would have been crying and bitching and complaining about not playing, and that would have put pressure on Larry and Joe and the media, and the players got to ask the questions. He said about Darko falling into his role, nobody had to deal with that. And he went on to say that, that Larry Brown was known not to play rookies. He said that would have caused tension, and Melo would have to sit on the bench knowing that he was able to contribute, and Larry wouldn't have played him, or at least played him the minutes that he thought that he deserved to play, and that would have caused some tension. It would have messed up the camaraderie. If you remember the Pistons' history, Adrian Danley was messing up the camaraderie of the team. They traded him for Mark Aguirre. Eventually, they went on to win the championship because Adrian Danley wanted to be his team, but everybody knew it was Isaiah's team, and it was talks about Isaiah going behind Danley back and getting them traded. So, I guess he taking it from that aspect. Now, one of the hosts said what I thought, that if they would have drafted Carmelo, that he would have learned how to be a better pro and a better team player, and he would have learned that professionalism from Ben, Tayshaun, and the rest of them. But Ben said if, Carmelo would have played, that maybe they wouldn't have, Tayshaun would have made that block, or he wouldn't have really marinated, or he wouldn't, manifested into what he, became during that run. And that may have been true, And if that was one of the reasons why they didn't draft Carmelo, because they didn't plan on playing him right away, and and they knew that was going to cause a problem, that makes a lot of sense. But when you got a talent and you a great coach and you a great organization, like Joe Dumars was running, you find a way to get Carmelo on the floor. You find a way to make Carmelo impactful. You find a way to play him and Tayshaun together. That's just the facts. But Ben could be speaking facts. Ben was in the locker room. Ben knew what he talking about. But I figured that, you take the talent. But Darko didn't bring nothing to us. I felt that we would have won more championships with Carmelo. Maybe Carmelo would have balled out and we would have been up versus Indiana and wouldn't have to come down to a block. But I think they didn't feel that Carmelo game fit what the Pistons team atmosphere was. And if that's the case where Carmelo didn't fit what they did, there's ways to address that. There's ways to stagnate. It's ways to, kind of make the minutes where you put Carmelo out there where he get an opportunity for stretches to get hot and get in the groove. You put him out there with Mehmet Okur, Mike James, Lindsey Hunter, and you let him be the primary scorer. It was times where the Pistons went down droughts in a lot of their championship and playoff runs where they couldn't get a bucket. You telling me Melo couldn't have, posted up or gave you a bucket? I feel that if Larry Brown really wanted it to work, it should have worked. But Larry Brown is old school, and the Pistons always been that way. May it be Rick Carlisle, Larry Brown, or Mo Cheeks or whoever, they refuse to play the rookies. And then they develop players in practice in the G League now. It used to be called the D League. And Chris Middleton, Spencer Dinwiddie, Aaron Aflalo. And then eventually they come in, they go somewhere else, and they produce. Same thing with Tayshaun Prince. People forget Tayshaun Prince sat on a deep freezer. He was a 4-year starter for Tubby Smith in Kentucky. Only reason Tayshaun Prince got a chance to play is because Tracy McGrady was frying their ass. They went up 3-1, and guess what? You put Tayshaun in, he stopped Tracy McGrady. So that's one of the stupidest things I ever thought of. Somebody that spent 4 years in college, somebody like Carmelo, one of the best players in college basketball, that you feel that he don't deserve to play because he a rookie. That's an idiot mindset. If he good enough to play and you a good coach, you figure out a way to make the shit work. And that just shows you Larry Brown wasn't a fully capable coach, or he was closed-minded, whichever one you prefer to imagine about. But he should have found a way to make that work. And this still, in my opinion, despite what Ben Wallace say, set this franchise back. And Ben Wallace going to Chicago and all that stuff, that destroyed the Pistons team, and that's why we kind of fell off the way we did when Ben left. And it destroyed Ben's career. But hey, I'll link that podcast link in the description. Let me know what you guys think. Do you tend to believe what Ben believed, that Melo would have messed up the camaraderie and the chemistry of the team, or you believe Carmelo would have brought more championships and more righteousness to the Detroit Pistons organization? It's Motor City Sports Talk. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email. All my information is in the description. Best way to donate is share the video, but Cash App, PayPal there as well too. And let me know what you guys think, man. I tend to agree with the host about Melo would have been a great fit. We out.